But notice that, see, these are actually circles. So what should they be in perspective? Okay. So does the bottom half of the page make sense? What you need to do to transfer this shape is you're going to estimate where this is. If you need to subdivide, to find where some of these points are, this is just below there. This is over here. That's about at that intersection. You can do the same thing with this. You want to translate those points over. Now, the most important thing is that you accurately reflect or mirror one side over to the other. So if I put my original B over here and it's a little bit off, I want it to be a little bit off on the mirrored side. Does that make sense? And then what you're going to do with the top, same thing. I mean, essentially this is like a translation of a decal. If you need to subdivide to accurately plot some points, then you can do that same subdivision on these. You're going to use your diagonal method to essentially create, you know, this moving back, and you're going to draw the mustache 3 times up top. How do you mirror? What is the mirror technique that we want you to use? We have talked about this already. But if I have my square surface, I need to find the foreshortened center. If I draw that heart in, here's where I'm going to estimate. Let me see. I'm going to subdivide this to plot out roughly where my heart is. There, here, here. Kind of hits right in the middle, comes around tangent, and it hits about right here. So now I've got some points to plot my heart out, or half of it. And so if I want to mirror that side over, I have a couple of options. If you're not paying attention, you need to pay attention for 2 more minutes. I can pick some random spots, right? So what I know right now is that this is a mirror of this, right? So I could find where that point intersects that mirror, and all I have to do is translate it over. There's my point on the opposite side. And I want to do this for enough points to get an accurate one. So what if I want a point right here? I really just want that point. Well, I can translate it over towards the left vanishing point. And then this is the trick. This is the one that we've talked about it briefly, but what I want to do is I want to draw a line that intersects that point that I can mirror that line. So I'm going to draw a line from here just to this top corner. That gives me an intersection with this outside line that I can translate over to the other side. And now I can mirror just that diagonal line, right? And then where that diagonal line intersects this point, this line that's coming from that point, that gives me the opposite point. So there are lots of different ways to do this. I could also, if I wanted to, I could use the diagonal method just to mirror this rectangle with that at the top corner. I could use that and carry that over and find that point. But this one's just a little bit easier. And you also want to take advantage of the points that you already have when you use your X method to divide the surface in half. I know that I have that point. I can carry that over. Where it intersects this, I've got that. I've already got a point where it intersects the exterior line, so I can carry that point over. I could mirror this rectangle with the diagonal method, just coming up through there to hit right there. And so now I've got the points that I need. And what I want you to notice is that these shapes just, it's surprising how different they are, how different these curves are, given that they are in fact just mirrors of one another. But that's what you'll discover on this exercise. With the mustache, you can do the same thing. You can either plot out everything and apply it, or you can use some of those mirroring methods and just plot out half of that mustache. Does that make sense? Are there any questions? I'll just review one more time this one. So the way that I found this point, it did not sit on my original X. It did not sit on this exterior. And so what I did was I started by drawing a diagonal line from the middle top. To intersect that point, it intersected my outside edge. I carried that over to the other side. I basically created a triangle. And I know that this 2 is the mirror of 1. And so I can carry that point over and find where it intersects 2 over on the other side. You can use that in a number of different places throughout your drawing. If you wanted to just, another simple way is just to find this point, because this is easy to mirror. All I have to do is come from that bottom corner to the middle, and I can translate that point over, and hopefully it'll hit right there, which it does. But that is the point of this exercise. So just again, from a timing standpoint,